It is a case of leprosy. The CDC Emerging Infectious Diseases Journal warns of a possible endemic as cases rise in Central Florida. King Channel TV here. Please like the video, subscribe to King Channel TV and click that notification bell. Leprosy is an infectious disease that has been around since ancient times. According to the CDC, it has increased dramatically in Florida, and now health experts fear it is now endemic to the Sunshine State. Many cases are reported elsewhere annually in the U.S., with the bulk of them in the southern U.S., predominantly in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and of course as well as Florida. But according to the CDC-EID journal, Central Florida accounts for nearly 20% of all cases in the U.S., and for 81% of the cases reported in Florida. Researchers are now suggesting that the disease is being transmitted from within the U.S., either from person to person or from contact with animals like armadillos. The CDC is now warning doctors to consider leprosy when examining patients who have traveled to Florida or elsewhere in the southeastern U.S. So we need to be careful. In ancient days, leprosy was considered a plague. People felt it was the result of a sin, causing the leper to be ostracized or quarantined. The citizen who had leprosy, in those days, called the white sickness because the skin turned white, could not come into a town or consort with other people. They said that he was afflicted because of his sin. Many would drive strangers and whoever had such a disease out of the country. But today we have hope, yet we have to be careful. Careful in our contact and what we consume for food. Research has shown that human contact and consumption of armadillo has contributed to extremely high infection rates of a pathogen that causes the high rate of leprosy in Para, Brazil, and other parts of South America, like Venezuela and Oaxaca, Mexico. In fact, armadillo meat is often served as part of an average diet in many areas of Central and South America. Brazil is diagnosed with 25,000 cases each year. Para has one of the highest new case detection rates in the whole country. More than 50% of people in this area, on average, will be positive for the antibody, PGLI, and the rate is even higher, over 90%, for some leprosy patients. But what does these South American countries and leprosy cases have to do with the United States and problems in Central Florida? In the last 5 years, Central Florida has attracted a large number of migrants from Central and South America. A UN report in 2019 estimated that 94% of Venezuelans lived in poverty. By 2021, that same report said almost 20% of the population, or about 5.4 million, left their country, headed for a better life in the United States. Of course, they brought their culture with them. The Hispanic and Latino communities in Central Florida are a melting pot of many cultures. In 2010, Osceola County was about 45.5% Hispanic or Latino. In 2020, since the large Venezuela migration, data shows that this population now leaves the county at 54.3%. This might explain the reason for the rise of, and the endemic fears of leprosy in Central Florida. This great number of migrants from leprosy-endemic countries has led Central Florida to be called the leprosy capital of the United States. This warning by the CDC is a serious one. If left untreated, leprosy can cause paralysis, vision loss, disfigurement of the nose, permanent damage to the hands and feet, and shortening of the fingers. Antibiotics can usually treat the condition, but permanent nerve damage may occur. It has been shown that people who have contracted the disease are afraid to come forward or provide information on how they contracted it. The CDC spotlights the case of a 54-year-old man who contracted leprosy in 2022, with painful lesions and swelling. He denied any domestic or foreign travel, exposure to armadillos, prolonged contact with immigrants from leprosy endemic countries, or connections with someone known to have leprosy. He had resided in Central Florida his entire life, works in landscaping, and spends long periods of time outdoors. With all of this, we must be extremely careful of what we consume for food, watch our diet, and be careful of the contacts we make. We must also watch out for fraudulent medical professionals. This brings our video to a close. We will provide follow-ups as this endemic progresses. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to King Channel TV, and click that notification bell. Peace.